Hi, I'm Tim and welcome back to another video in my Home Assistant GMKtec Mini PC series where we're customising, installing and setting up Home Assistant on a GMKtec Mini PC. In this part 4 of the video series, we're going to be adding mushrooms to our dashboard, and we're going to be customising our dashboard, and we're going to be also adding our Unifi Network Controller integration to Home Assistant. And also, if you're liking this video series, why not hit that bell notification icon so you get notified of when new upcoming videos are released. And finally, why not give this video a thumbs up if you're liking it. So without further delay, let's hop onto the PC behind me here and we'll get this set up. So here we are, and I've logged into my Home Assistant and I'm at the overview screen or dashboard. Now, as a bonus tip, let's do the bonus tip first, and what we're going to do is make it a black colour background instead of this bright white. So to do this, what we need to do is go down to your username at the bottom left corner. So click on that, then scroll down to browser settings, and here you'll see browser settings, and for the theme we've got colours, as you'll see, which is the primary colour blue, which is why these sliders are colour blue, and then the accent colour, which appears sometimes when there's a notification. Next to notification or next to settings, you will see that we have an orange number in a orange colour circle box. And let's change the theme to dark. So to do this, you'll see under theme we've got auto, light and dark. So just select dark, and as you can see, it's now changed it to a dark background, which is much easier on the eyes and easier for watching this video as well on YouTube. So now that we've done that, we'll go back to the overview screen. So click on overview at the top left corner, and as you can see at the moment, all we've got is our username box and the current weather forecast. Now, to take control of our dashboard, what we need to do, in the top left corner you'll see the pen or the pencil. Click on this. Then what you need to do is, for the edit dashboard window, select the 3 dots and select take control. Now what this is going to do is take control so you can customize your dashboard or overview screen, whichever you like to call it. I'll refer to it as dashboard future in this video. So once you've selected the 3 dots, select the option to take control, and then what you need to do is confirm by taking control. And what we need to do is start with an empty dashboard. So select this slider option and then select take control. As you will see, we've now got an empty dashboard, and this is in the edit dashboard screen. So to close the edit dashboard screen, what you need to do is just click done at the top right corner. Now you will see we've got a blank dashboard. So what we're going to do first is add the Mushroom Cards integration. Now, in the previous video we already installed HACS, so this is where you'll find the Mushroom Cards. So to download and install the Mushroom Cards, select HACS from the left side menu here, then in the search box at the top just type in mushroom, and you will see we've got a list of mushroom search results, and the one we want is at the top, and it's called Mushroom Build a Beautiful Home Assistant Dashboard Easily. So select this, and then from the mushroom screen that appears in the bottom right corner, select download. Then from the pop-up box that appears, select download, and just wait for Mushroom to download. And as you can see, it's done, and we've now got a reload message, and it's saying you need to reload the browser for the updated resource to be used. Do you want to do that now? Just select reload. Then what we need to do is go back to the overview screen. So select overview at the top left corner, and this takes us back to the blank dashboard. Now I think what we need first, before we add the Unifi Network integration is add a clock onto our dashboard. So to do this, go back to HACS again at the left hand side, and in the search box at the top, delete Mushroom out of there, and then type in clock and press enter. And as you'll see, we've got a selection of clock cards. So the one we want is, for example, the top one, which is clock weather card. So this provides a clock as well as the weather all in one card. So this is quite a nice one. So we'll just, for example, install this one. But if you want to install a different one, just click the left arrow next to clock weather card at the top here, and this will take you back to the search results. So for example, you can have, say, an analog clock, which would look like this, or we can go back and we can have a simple weather clock, for example, which will provide a clock with the current forecast and the humidity levels. So what we'll do is go back and install the clock weather card, which is the top one. And to do this, all you need to do in the bottom right corner is select download. And from the pop-up window again, select download. Then with the reload message, just click reload again, and then go back to the overview by selecting overview at the top left side menu. Then what we need to do is add the clock to our dashboard. So to do this, in the top right corner, select the pen or pencil, and then in the bottom right corner, select add card. Then with the card window that appears, so we're searching by card, you can search by card or by entity. So by default, it's selected by card. So where it says search cards, type in clock, and this will bring up the custom clock weather card. So select this and then select save. And as you can see, we've now got a clock and a weather card on our Home Assistant dashboard. So to close the edit dashboard screen, just click done at the top right corner. Now you can see we've added our first card to our Home Assistant dashboard. So that's how easy it is to add cards to your dashboard. However, let's take a look and see what the Mushroom cards have in store. So to do this, what we need to do is in the top right corner again, select the pen, and in the bottom right corner, select add card. Then in the search box, type in Mushroom, and as you can see, there's various Mushroom cards which you can add. So we'll do this later on when we add the Unifi Network Controller integration. So to come out of these Mushroom cards search screen, just click X in the top left corner, or you can click cancel in the bottom right corner. So now that we've done that and added our weather forecast and clock card, we'll just click done in the top right corner again. Now this takes us back to our dashboard. So now to add our Unifi Network Controller, what we first need to do is go and create a user account in our network controller. Now I'm running my Unifi Network Controller on a UDM SE. However, it should work for all Unifi Network controllers that are run locally. Sometimes it may not work properly with the cloud one. It may require additional configuration. But as you know, the idea with Home Assistant is that it's all run locally on your system without having cloud integrations to it as much. Hence why I'm running my Unifi Network Controller locally. However, you should be able to do it the same, not just with the UDM SE, but also a UDM Pro, for example, or one of the main Unifi local network controllers. So to add our Unifi network integration, we first need to create a local account on our Unifi network controller. So to do this, what I'm going to do is log into my UDM SE, and as you can see, I've logged into my UDM SE now. And what we're going to do is add another user account specifically for our Home Assistant integration. So to do this, what we need to do is at the left hand side, select admins and users. In the top right corner, you'll see we've got a plus symbol, which is add admin. Select add admin. However, I would highly recommend that you add this user as an admin so that you are allowed to change settings for your Unifi Network Controller from within Home Assistant. So what we'll do is add an admin user, and we'll call this username HACS. And then what we'll do is I will paste in a password. Use a secure password again, as you would with your normal Unifi Network accounts. And what we're doing is setting this as a super admin. Click add to add this user account. As you can see, we've now got two admins, which is the admin which I used to access this controller with, and now we've got HACS, which we'll use for our Unifi Home Assistant integration. So now that we've done that, we can log out of our Unifi Network Controller and close this window, and then we're back to Home Assistant. So what we're going to do now is add our Home Assistant integration. So to do this, what we need to do, click on Settings at the bottom left side menu, and then select Devices and Services. Then in the bottom right corner, select Add Integration, and then what we'll do in the search box where it's saying set up a new integration, search for a brand, just type in Unifi, and as you will see, the result will be Ubiquiti and also Ubiquiti Unifi Video. Now the one we want is Ubiquiti, so select this, and then from the next screen we want Unifi Network, so select this, and it will say please wait, starting configuration. Now with the screen that appears, you'll see set up Unifi Network. In the host box you need to type in the IP address for your Unifi Network Controller. So you need the IP address that you use to access your Unifi Network Controller with. In this case, and probably in most cases, it will be 192.168.1.1, which is the default IP address for Unifi Network Controllers normally. So once you've typed in that, in the username we'll type in our username that we created for Home Assistant in our Unifi Network Controller, and if you recall just a moment ago it was username HACS, and then what we'll do is paste in or type in the password that you created for the HACS username. So the port should be set by default to 443, so leave that as it is and just click submit. And as you will see, we've got a success message, created configuration for default. Now it's also found the devices on the Unifi network. So for example, we've got Unifi network, switch, router, wireless access point, wireless network name MTT, and the second wireless network name of MTT2. So what you can do is you can select the areas and just put the devices in an area should you so wish. But as my devices are actually in the network cabinet, I'll just leave these areas blank for the time being, until which point I've created a area called network cabinet or server cabinet or something like that. So you could actually put them in a room. So for the time being we can leave the area blank and just click finish. As you'll see, we've now got the Unifi network integration added, and it's saying that there's 6 devices in the Unifi network integration. So now what we need to do is add our Unifi network to our dashboard so we can see it in some cards. So to do this, what we need to do is go back to overview, which will take you back to your overview screen or dashboard, whichever you like to call it, and then in the top right corner select the pen or pencil icon, and this will take you into the edit mode for the dashboard. As you can see, we've got overview and a pen next to it, and also the name of our dashboard, which is called home. So what we need to do is to add our Unifi network integration to our dashboard. Is in the bottom right corner select add card. We can add, for example, a gauge card, so we can select the gauge card, so click on this, and then in the config screen that appears, so gauge card configuration, the entity we can choose At the moment it's set to default as MTT, so that's the Wi-Fi network, and it will show how many clients are connected to the Wi-Fi network. So if we wanted to change that, we can select on the entity the little arrow to pull the drop down list down, and as you can see we've got a selection now for all these gauges. So what we can do, for example, is we can add our CPU and memory utilization for our UDMSE, which is called RU01, as in router 01. So what we can do is select CPU utilization, and as you can see it's showing you as an example here of what the gauge will look like, and it's showing the CPU utilization for our router, which is running on our UDMSE, therefore the Unifi network integration. So we can name this, so we'll call it UDM SE, and for the unit you can leave that as default as it's showing percentage, but if you want to show other units, for example, you can do this as kilobits per second. You can just type in that should you so wish, but as it's showing as a percentage we'll leave that as default. And then for the theme, which is optional, there's no theme, so you leave that blank. And for a minimum, you can set the minimum for the gauge. For example, it's set to default as 0, and then the maximum is 100, so we'll leave that as default. So it'll go down the gauge to 0% up to 100%. Now what you can also do is change it to, instead of this sort of speedometer style picture, you can select it to display a needle gauge. So to do this, just click the slider, and therefore you'll get a needle there, so it changes it to a needle gauge. So let's move it back to the original, and as you can see we've now got just the slider. Now you can also define severity, so if you click this you will see we've got green, yellow and red, and they're all 0. So if you want to change the colour of these gauges, for example under green, you'll see we've got 2 little arrows popped up. So what you could do is click the arrows to change this to 1, for example, and this will change the colour of the gauge. And then for yellow you can change this to 1 and it will change it to a yellow gauge, or red, change it to 1 and it will show the gauge as red. However, we'll leave this as default by disabling the define severity. For tap behavior, which what we'll do is if you, for example, tap on this card, it would actually perform another action. So for example, you can have it change to navigate or open a URL or perform an action. So if you selected, for example, perform an action, then you'll see we've got an action box popped up. Now if you want it to perform an action, what you can do is select from these actions here, but as it's just a graph and we're just showing the usage in percentage, we don't need to do any action. So for the tap behavior, we'll leave that as nothing. So now that we've created our card for our UDMSE showing the CPU utilization, we'll just edit the name so that it's showing UDMSE CPU utilization, so that we know what that graph is, and then we'll just click save. And then what we'll do is click done in the top right corner. Now you'll see we've got our weather forecast and clock, and we've also got our UDM SE CPU utilization. So now what we'll do is add the memory utilization for our UDM. So to do this, again, in the top right corner, select the pen or pencil. Then in the bottom right corner, select add card. Then again, we'll select gauge from the card, and then for the entity, we'll select our memory utilization for our router. And then in the name box, change this to UDM SE memory utilization. Then everything else we'll leave as default and click save, and then click done in the top right corner. That's added our Unifi Network Controller integration to Home Assistant. Of course, you can go further and add, for example, buttons if you wanted to do things in Home Assistant. with the Unifi Network integration. So let me just show you an example of this. So again, top right corner, select pen or pencil, select add card, and then for this option we'll select button. So we'll select button, and then for the entity we'll leave this as MTT. So for the name we'll give it turn on off MTT Wi-Fi. In the icon box we'll leave that as default. Show name we'll leave that as default, so we'll leave everything as default. So for the show icon we'll select this, and this will show the state of the Wi-Fi underneath the name. So for example, you see it showing here as on. So if we wanted to turn off the Wi-Fi, we'll click this button and it will then change the state to off. So we'll leave these all as default and click save. Then what we'll do in the top right corner is select done, and as you can see we've now got a button here which if we click or select, it will turn on and off the MTT Wi-Fi network accordingly. So at the moment it's showing on, so what we'll do is click it, and now it's turned off the Wi-Fi. So to re-enable the Wi-Fi network, you would just click the button again, and it would then restart that Wi-Fi network. So it will probably take like a minute or two to restart it, as it does in the Unifi Network Controller anyway, so just wait for it to restart. So that's what you can do with the Unifi Network integration. There are of course more buttons and graphs you can do with the Unifi Network integration, but just go through these, select the edit pen, select add card, and then select the card that you want, whether you want a button or a gauge for example, or to do something, or a glance card or an entity. You select whichever one you want. In this case you'll probably use the button card and also the gauge card with the Unifi Network integration. So hope you found this video useful. Hope you liked the easy to use Unifi Network integration, and as with all these videos I'm going to try and do it for you so that you don't have to go in and edit any YAML code, so you don't have to be a programmer to use these facilities of what I'm showing you the integrations with. So you don't have to go in and change code for example, which hopefully makes things a lot easier for you users out there. Thanks for watching, and we'll carry on with the Home Assistant series again. In the next video what we'll do is go in and add our Reolink video doorbell and security camera integration so that we can see the video for our doorbell and also my security camera on our Home Assistant dashboard here. So it will show the live video feeds. So thanks for watching, take care, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you get notified of when my future videos are coming. So take care of yourselves, bye for now.